his opening statement.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You mentioned in your opening statement we could be spending our time on improving our nation's security. Yes, we could, and we have tried to do that for now almost 2 years. We have a border that is no longer a border. We'd love to talk about it. We'd love to talk about the fact that we went from safe streets to record crime in every major urban area and try to figure out how we can help those situations. But you guys won't do it. I think I speak for every Republican member on the Judiciary Committee, probably every Republican member in Congress. We would love to focus on those issues, but you won't do it. You talked about the FBI. We shouldn't be disparaging the FBI. I agree. The vast majority of the Americans, I think your quote was Americans doing their job at the FBI. I agree with that. They're good people. In fact, we know of 14 of them who've come to our office as whistleblowers and talked about the political nature that overwhelms the Washington field office and the FBI. That's our concern. The FBI lied to the FISA court. The FBI altered evidence to the FISA court. That's not Republicans on the Judiciary Committee saying that. That's Michael Horowitz, the Inspector General. And they did so they could spy on President Trump's campaign. They even had a woman pose as someone else, use the name Azra Turk to bump into one of the people who worked on the Trump campaign. You know what they call that? Spying. They did it. Comey memos, he leaked them to get a special. Okay, we can go. We don't. I don't want to go through all the history, but it's worth. I think it is worth just pointing to that. That's what happened at the FBI, and now we have this, the issue in front of us. Why this resolution of inquiry is so necessary. Last month, the FBI took the unprecedented step of raiding the home of a former president of the United States. Never happened in American history. And I would point out, not just the former president, but the likely presidential candidate for the Republican Party to run against the very Justice Department the Biden administration had go raid his home. The raid on the president's residence represents a shocking escalation of Biden administration's weaponization of law enforcement resources against its political opponents. The American people deserve transparency and accountability, and that's why this ROI is necessary, not some heavily redacted affidavit. We want to know the truth. Biden and DOJ is hidden behind a formal policy of not commenting on the investigation, all the while engaging in selective leaks of salacious accusations without any context to them. In fact, on August 11th, 2022, last month, Attorney General Garland addressed the search for the first time at a press conference. And he said, I have made clear that the Department of Justice will speak through its court filings and its work. Well, if you made it clear, why'd you have to give a press conference? Why'd you go talk about it? On the very same day, though, the Washington Post reported that FBI agents were seeking classified documents relating to nuclear weapons, according to leaks from, quote, people familiar with the investigation. So much for letting the court filings speak for your work. You did a press conference, and then people familiar with your work leaked it to the Washington Post. So if that's going to happen, why not let the American people in on it all? Just show us the affidavit. The New York Times later reported that President Trump had, quote, more than 300 classified documents at Mar-a-Lago, according to leaks from, again, quote, people briefed on the matter. So it's fine for the FBI to go leak it, but the American people can't see what the whole basis is in the affidavit itself. And Mr. Chairman, there's no reason this raid was necessary. Until the raid, we had seen ample evidence of cooperation. In January of 2022, President Trump voluntarily turned over 15 boxes of material. In May, President Trump voluntarily accepted service of a grand jury subpoena that sought documents bearing classification markets. Throughout June of 2022, the Department and President Trump's lawyers engaged in discussions about the matter. On June 2nd, President Trump, through his lawyers, invited FBI to visit Mar-a-Lago to retrieve responsive documents. On June 3rd, the Department and FBI officials visited Mar-a-Lago, and President Trump allowed them to inspect his storage room, even provided responsive documents during the visit. During the visit, President Trump told them, quote, whatever you need, just let me know. On June 8th, the FBI requested that the president further secure the storage room, which he did. Despite all of this, the Attorney General personally approved the decision to seek a warrant for excessive and unprecedented access to President Trump's private home. During the Biden administration, the department has shattered public confidence in equal application of the law. The department has filed politically motivated lawsuits against Republican-led states, artificially inflated domestic violence extremism statistics. We know that because a whistleblower has told us that they're juicing the numbers. And he's used counterterrorism resources to target parents at school board meetings. And again, we know all that because brave whistleblowers at the FBI agents have come forward and talked to us. The department has also selectively prosecuted and investigated political opponents of the Biden administration. A pattern has also emerged of Attorney General Garland seeking to prosecute cases against political opponents through leaks to friendly media sources rather than the courtroom. These actions not only undermine the stated mission of the department, they violate the most fundamental tenets of our country. That's why it's critically important that we get access to the unredacted affidavit. We must begin the process of bringing accountability to this agency. I would urge support for the resolution. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.